A very good afternoon, Team Zimbabwe, and welcome to Africa and Beyond Television Network. And this afternoon, let us expect fireworks from ZANU PF. Temba Mliswa says, expect extraordinary measures from an extraordinary session of the Politburo. We are getting into the season of votes of no confidence, suspensions, and so on. If you know ZANU PF, you realize that mepo dzasimuka. The major question is, asimukirwa nemepo mu ZANU PF ndiani? Is it that Pane vari kuda kudzingwa? You know, there are rumors which are circulating that things are no longer well, and there are certain people who are supposed to be dismissed from the ruling party. Or there are certain people vari kufanira kuti decision itwe nePolitburo so that it exonerates the leader himself. So very tough situations right there in Zimbabwean politics, and this is what happens when illegalities are the order of the day. So, you know, this is not new in ZANU PF, and we have seen this each and every time they have successions. This is how they operate. So we're expecting to see this Politburo session starting at 1400 hours going forward. And around 13:45, all members should be seated. And this was issued by Obet Moyo. And remember, certain comrades are under fire because of the events, the happenings within the ruling party. One of the most important issues is to know that yesterday, Owen Mudangube, for the first time, did not issue that slogan, Equity 2030. It seems as if he was sober. I do not know the reasons why he was sober yesterday when he was having some meetings right there in Gweru. And that has raised a lot of questions to say, is Owen Mudangube repenting, or is he simply slowing down Vachita reorganize so that they strike once again? Remember, this slogan, Equity 2030, yapinza vanhu vakawanda panjada. And I have seen so many observations. I've been talking to some of the people trying to understand what is really happening, and there is little information about what is happening. But there are certain considerations. Kuti Mukuru is under pressure, 100% under pressure, and some people believe kuti there are some people he might drop from his camp. Remember, this has not been confirmed yet, but there are some people who might be dropped from his camp for the purposes of survival of his faction. And if those people are successfully dropped, what it means is they will now be operating in the shadows. And those are the most dangerous people, because Mukuru will be saying, I don't have control over those people. So what they will be doing is they will be working with certain people in the structures who are lower ranked in their own areas. But vachi influencers from the outside, vachi konzeresa nyonga from the outside. And you know, once a situation boils to that level, it becomes problematic. So remember, these are still rumors. We are not so sure. And other people believe that there are people who are targeted. There's a list which I have seen in Evan Wakati one day. They are targeted because some of them are suspected to be working again with the generals. So it's a very sad situation. We all know that presser was last minute cancelled, and we do not know the actual reasons behind the cancellation. But suspicion is that it was cancelled because there are some things which need to be ironed out in the Politburo, and we're expecting to see some people being fired or some people being elevated for some reasons. So at this point in time, the politics of Zimbabwe is reached boiling point. We have seen this. There is a very, very interesting story which I'm going to bring at a later stage. Once I get approval from the person, I'll bring that story so that we speak about these issues and make sure that the people of Zimbabwe understand where we are going and where we are coming from. So at this point in time, what we need to agree is that Zimbabwe is boiling, and we have seen a lot of fence sitters. People are not certain which faction to follow, which faction to belong to, because of how tricky it is. You can support the general vomuka vasina power. You can support the comrade, vomuka vasina power again. And the major question will be, zvichafamba sei? So Dr. Kumalo is asking kuti zviri kumbofamba sei Bhuru, and Bhuru is one of the people anofamba nemukuru vaMnangagwa, which means there is a probability that he is aware of some people who are supposed to, or who are about to be fired. And firing of those people, if they are in the other camp, what it means is the faction inenge yaraskirwa nevanhu ndo inenge ichingoitwa weekend. And remember, there is a lot of resistance from all quarters. So general vari kutemba nebhesi ravo, but mupati chaimo chaimo, there are just a few people or just a few faces who are actually supporting him. Majority of the people vari kusapota vakawanda kuseri, vakangomirira kuti anenge awina tofamba neiyeye. Then mukuru within the party has massive support, and it seems as if all structures are behind him. So that is the reason why you saw 2030 agenda was highly accepted within the party ranks and file. But if you go on to the lower structures, the pasi upper, that's where problems are. Go to the cells, go to the branches, go to the DCCs. Ndokune problem yese yemsangano ikoko. Mukuru haasi kudiwa. Vachiwenga is far much popular on the lower ranks than on the upper ranks. And, that is one of the biggest problem which Tim Lacoste is going to face in this battle for succession. So I don't see the reasons why President Mnangagwa would want to involve himself in succession politics. He was supposed to be dealing with service delivery. He was supposed to be focused on service delivery, but it seems as if he's focused on something else. So we are going to watch and see, but likely there are people who are going to be charged, not General himself, but there are people who are going to be charged, and some feathers are going to be ruffled. But zvinogona kungoitika ka, mukuru anogona kungoita zvivindo, but aiwo uchavarika, you have to step down. But today I think they have met, President Emmerson Mnangagwa has met already with VP Chiwenga. They've met in the morning, President Mnangagwa, VP Chiwenga, Vana Opa, they have met in the morning today. And I think they had some discussions maybe about the key issues regarding this Politburo. So at this point in time, it's not that much scary as a lot of people have been contemplating. But there is an issue of some people who are supposed to be fired. We do not know if they are going to be able to fire them, or they are going to be warned and cautioned, and some might even be suspended. So remember, ZANU PF want to have authority over the government, and there is much resistance because vakomana vaya vanenge vari ma-ministers vaya, they know kuti if they accept this, they are going to be rendered useless, more useless than ever before. And some youths, rogue youths, will be in charge of the ministries more than it is right now. And sometimes even if you remain there as a minister, but you are no longer in control, and you lose more credibility. So that is another issue which is being spearheaded within ZANU PF, which means ministers are likely going to lose more control of the events happening in the party. So it's 1400 hours. Let us expect to see some things happening, and let us see the fireworks from ZANU PF, and we'll be giving you updates. We are going to give you direct updates about what is happening. This is an extraordinary Politburo meeting, which was urgently scheduled after the Bulawayo conference and after the fallout with some comrades. So for the first time, Owen Mudangube didn't issue or didn't run the slogan 2030 yesterday in Midlands province, something which is making some people ask questions. So there is something happening, especially in the Midlands province. Expect to see fireworks, expect to see people being fired from the Midlands and the Masvingo provinces. Expect to see people being fired. There are some people who are targeted. So if they are not fired, then those people will be subject to elimination, and that will be verdict. So we watch to see what is going to happen and what is it all about. So Christopher Mchango was supposed to hold the presser. It was stopped, as we have said. So this is it. This is what Buru is saying at this point in time. Buru is part of Team Mnangagwa, and we are likely going to see more things happening. Vana Buru vakambofamba neko vakambodzingwa vanodzidzisa nyaya dzacho. And it seems as if there is enough information to suggest kuti kune vamwe vanogona kungosiya basa. So thank you very much, Trader, for coming. And Glot says, Chiwenga really, together with these generals, ought to make some truly decisive move. They can they not drop the president himself? If not, when will they do so? After the last general dies? So I believe that they have a plan, but their plan then, it takes a far much longer route because it involves much negotiations with some people preferred by the power brokers. And, that is the problem which we have. So, inini hangu kuona kwandiri kuita ZANU PF kune mafactions arimo with their numbers, dzemafactions iwayo. But the military itself is now divided. There is the military faction which is supporting Emmerson Mnangagwa, but there are just a few. There is a military faction supporting General Chiwenga only. Also, the number is bigger than that of Mnangagwa, but there are also few. Then there is a huge group of the military cadres who are thinking otherwise, and they are against this whole 2030 agenda, and that is the most feared grouping. Yekuti inogona kukonzeresa kuti zvinhu zvisafamba zvakanaka, and ndoiri kutokonzeresa zvinhu zvisafamba zvakanaka muzanu PF. So the danger of that group is that they are not visible. They are invisibly operating. These guys are untouchable, visibly operating. And if you touch one of them, then you are in trouble. So there are simple suspicions. Kuti uyu varufamba say. Even they remain neutral, but they know where they are going. They know who they are backing, and they are waiting for the right time for them to strike. So that is the reason why you see these comrades, they are angry and they are not so happy with whatever which is happening, which means it's very difficult for Team Chiwenga to make a decision. Also, it's very difficult for Team Mnangagwa to make a decision. So they want to buy more time. They want to try and utilize as much time as they can, but slowly, so that they figure out what the other faction, which is silent or invisible, is trying to achieve and trying to do. And the major issue is that vakuru havachadiwe, ZANU PF haichadiwe. If you go to government, yes, ZANU PF haichadiwe. That is the reason why they want to have superior control over the government. It's because they want to try and impose themselves more onto all the institutions of government. Havachadiwe. But that time haisati yasvika for some decisive moves to be made. Nora, thank you very much for coming. Miriam, thank you very much. Isusu tiri kuti no, regai vapedzane, regai zvidashurana, regai zvirwe ikoko, because we have nothing to lose. Thank you very much, everyone, for coming. We'll continue come here to bring some more updates.